There's a god in the sky. There's a big ball of burning gas. Wow. Hello guys, and welcome to my first episode of my Let's Play for Hazeron. It is beginning to rain. And here we are on my new empire and my new civilization. Well, one naked dude and two clothed people and a small child. Alright then. So, if you don't know what this game is, it is a 4X game set in a first-person mode that is an MMO. So you're playing with other players. When you first start, especially if you first start as an empire, starting as an empire makes you king. Joining another empire means that they control you. So if you start as an empire, then you're in control of everything. Keep in mind, though, empires need players too. I need to make sure that that's stated, because I really think that for most new players, the best thing you can do is join another empire. And then play, you can have multiple characters on one account, so you can play another empire as well. Hopefully that doesn't impede in your first empire's plans, but that's also a possibility in the game. So keep that in mind, that people can betray you. This is as ruthless as probably Eve, and people make it apparent sometimes in chat. Anyways, so how the hell do you make an empire out of all this, right? Oh, look at that. There you go. How do you make an empire, you ask? Well, it's a space game, right? See that planet right there? We'll go there. We will go there in that series. In this series. That series. This series. We're really, really close to the sun, but this is a habitable planet. You always spawn on a habitable planet as far as I know. So anyways, let's look around. Now, you might sit here and wonder, what about all these trees? Like, why are they so big? Or you might say this looks like it's behind the times in the graphics department. It is, but that's okay. Why? Because the concept that this game gives is far superior than its graphics content. It doesn't matter about how it's portraying it to you. It matters what it's portraying to you, not how shiny it's portraying it to you. The first goal when you start, well, I'll go find some of the stuff that we're gonna need, and I will come back. Sorry, just trying to think ahead of what to do first. There's two kind of avenues you can do. It shows you a survival aspect that you're probably going to have to do just to do the second stage, which is making a city. Alright, let me go get some supplies and I'll explain the user interface, how to interact with your character, and how to interact with items on the ground or in your environment. Since we skipped the tutorial, I actually skipped Targos. When you start up the game, the first time when you start an empire, a guy named Targos will arrive. He'll give you some basic information about how to control your character. But that's about it. It's going to be faster and better for me to explain it instead of going through him. When he does show up for your game, go ahead and listen to him. Anyways, I'll be back with the supplies needed and a clip of me trying to get those supplies. Welcome back, guys, and after some really long searching, I found some of the resources that I will need later. Since I found those, I'm going to build the civilization over here. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is get some supplies from the area around you. So, to do that, say I want that wood. Now, I might not get wood from this tile per se, but more than likely I will. I'm not sure if for any reason why you would get something else, but I have gotten something else before. That's the only reason why I say that. So I don't know I don't fully understand the mechanic behind this, but it's only a small stage in the game that you do this, and you probably will never do it again. So what I did was I right-clicked and put my mouse mode from first-person mode into user interface mode. And I then right-clicked on this resource, which gave me a log. Now, okay, well then, if the servers are going down, this is from the servers. Unfortunately, I will have to come back to this, but I will continue making this recording. When I come back, the servers will be up. They usually go down for about an hour, and I don't know what time. Oh my. Well, before that goes down, we're about to see what a fight's like. Or die. I hope I don't die. So to attack, uh-oh. Let me kill these things and I'll explain how to attack later. Unfortunately, you see how close I am to that creature? That's sometimes what you have to do. If you don't seem to be hitting the creature, do that. Now, once they fall on the ground, oh, he's already dead. I hit him again. Oh well. But when they fall on the ground, they're actually bleeding out. You can just hit them again and they'll die. Let's pick up some of those resources before the world actually goes down. Really? I don't have any room? So, to open up the inventory, you hit F4. And yes, it's because I have this open. I have this in my hand. You can only carry so many things. It doesn't matter how much it is. You can only carry so many things. Going down in 3 minutes. What I wanted to do is at least pick up one of those. It's very nice to have one of those for later on. But I will cut this episode, or not the episode itself, but I will cut this segment out, and I'll be back when the servers are back online. Alright, I'm back. So, it's been an entire day, because life intervened after the servers went down, and I just didn't have a time to record. So, I came back into the game, and meandered over to a village that was local. They seem to appear everywhere on the planet that you first start as, and they're usually always your race, at least as far as I can tell. Anyways, I found the resources that we need, and so therefore what I'm going to do is start to show you how to set up a city. But first and foremost, you need to understand a few things about the user interface. Down at the bottom left hand corner, down here, is your health, your stamina, so how long you can run, and then your food. If the food goes all the way down, your stamina will not go up. You will not get stamina back. And you'll start to slowly take starvation points of damage. It's slow. You won't starve within an hour. I think it takes a while. But I've never actually starved to death unless I already was harmed by something else. The other thing is all these buttons on the side right here. Now, we'll get to all of these, but I'll probably tell you some of the keyboard shortcuts to help you along the way, because they're almost essential for this game. This game supports dual monitors, and all of these windows that pop up as we use them, understand that I can rip them off and put them on my second monitor. Same thing for you. If you have a second monitor, you can just rip it off and put it onto the second monitor. If you open it back up, it'll appear in your second monitor. I like that feature. Not many video games give you that option. Anyways, so I will Now find the resources needed to create a city and show you how to collect them. Since that's the first goal that you should be doing in the game, or eventually be doing, besides maybe some random exploration. The other goal is to survive, of course. That's the first goal. The second goal is to make a city. Once you make a city, survival's easy. So the survival aspect of the game essentially ends the second you have a decent city. We'll be right back. Okay, so to make a flag, you need textiles. To get textiles, you need plant fiber. Plant fiber you get from, well, of course, plants. You can also make textiles from animal leather. So I could use the animal's carcass that I had originally just shown you that I picked up. Unfortunately, I died. So, yeah. I don't have that carcass anymore. I don't even have my knife, which is really bad. But when you start the game, you usually start with a knife. If you die, you drop the knife. It just seems to be my luck that I always end up dropping my life. When you die, you lose one item in your inventory. So I always seem to lose my knife. So I knew that was going to happen. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's any crafting way from your person to be able to make a knife yourself. So you have to actually create a civilization to make a knife again. So I'm not going to get another knife for a while. I'll have to make do with other ways of doing things or attacking things. I think you can use like a log or even a bone as a weapon. You can use your hands as well. You see, at the bottom right hand corner there is there's this icon right here. Now what this is signifying is that this is an attack. That's what that icon signifies. This is how much damage it does, and I think it's what it means is it's an on contact type of attack. I want to say I know what this. Uh-oh. Speaking of attack, I knew it. So let's beat this thing up and get some animal carcass, and I don't even need plant leather. Plant leather? Yeah. All right. Where the hell are you? You ran away, pussy. He's gone. I'm never going to find him inside this shrubbery. Anyways, so the original way that I was going to show you how to do this, you have to find an actual plant fiber resource tile, essentially. I wouldn't say tile, but we'll say it's like an area. Once you do find one, you hit the backspace key. As long as you're in first person mode. Remember, right click to turn on and off the GUI, or the user interface, whichever you want to call it. Hit backspace and you go into the overhead view. Now in the overhead view, just blank overhead view, and you can zoom in and out. You can actually see where that other civilization it was just at is. It's just over there. Of course, it's pitch black. It's nighttime, and then we're blessed that we're not around a gas giant. Trust me. You get like 12 hours of darkness during what would be day, and 12 hours of light afterward. That would be 24 hours. Duh. Anyways, so you can zoom out with the braces keys, the keys that are next to the P on a US based keyboard. I'm not sure about any other keyboard. That's what I use. So once you do that, the key right below backspace, the slash key or the vertical bar, if you hit that, you'll change modes. And this mode shows you all the resources nearby. Now, that first resource you see that's white, that's all over the place, well, that's going to always be all over the place in most planets, and that's stone. We will be mining stone here to start our civilization. It's one of the first things we do. There is oil. I'm directly pointing at it. Bring out my mouse here. Here's some oil right here and some natural gas. Here's some ore. Here's minerals. Here's nuclear or radioactives. That's what they're called. But it's for power plants. Later on, you can make nuclear reactors on the planet to give your civilization power. Anyways, so, well, there's a lot of stone. I want to get rid of that. I don't want to see all this damn stone. So you just hit the vertical bar key again. And now, all you see is the various other resources nearby. Well, that doesn't... oh, is he back again? He's back again. Or is he something different? He ran away! I look at you and you run away. I don't deal with creatures very often, so... no, there we go. Hey, you're really hurting me. I might die again, guys. You'll see what death is like. Yep. So now I'm bleeding out. And that creature will probably eat me. And I will lose an item. It'll say inside the screen. I will lose an item from my inventory. But I'll more than likely spawn at that place that I just showed you earlier. So this is the part of survival that I was saying, that eventually you won't have to deal with this, but it can be hard to not die from the creatures on your first world. It's like I almost think about trying to kill my civilization guys around here because they have items that can help you fight if you don't have your thing. I dropped my perfect paper. Well, I don't need that paper right now, and that's part of the tutorial that you guys can go through, so I don't care about that. Since I'm at this civilization, or this camp, if you will, I'll use this area to show you where the plant fiber is. So back in overhead view, here's all the resources again, and you hit the button, the mode switch button again, and now you see food. Basically anything that's farmable is what shows up next. So we got spices. We got spices right here. We got some I think that's hops right here. This is herbs. Here's some hay, I would assume. I haven't actually used these resources. I don't use these resources very often. Here's some beans and plant fiber. Plant fiber. Plant fiber. So what we need to do is go over to one of these plant fibers. Let's see, where's the closest one? Right there. So you can control your guy in this mode. You just right click again, go into first person mode. You don't have to actually hit backspace. We just run right over here. And now we have to get out of backspace mode. So now, what I need to do is put my mouse into this mode and click. Got a fair plant fiber shrub seeds too. So we got fair plant fibers and plant fiber shrub seeds. Now as far as where seeds come from or what you do with seeds, I can't answer that question because I've never actually used the seeds. I believe what I read on the wiki was that you can use them in farms and you can specify what the farm looks like that way, but I don't know if it changes its performance or what it gathers either. Alright. So now I have this in my hand. This is the gears window. It's the F4 button. It's also you can also open it up with this button right here, and it shows how much money you have, how much armor you have. Now I have no armor because I'm naked. So this is 5% or 3 points of HP. It'll tell you the description if you mouse over. Almost anything in this game will have a mouse over and you can learn about it via that way, or there's always the wiki. Then you have weight. So this is how much weight I'm carrying, and this is how much weight I can carry. If you do max out 250 kilograms of weight, you basically won't move. You just won't move. At least my character, I have another civilization, or did, and whenever I used 200, whenever I brought up my weight to 215, I couldn't move at all. So these icons signify where the item is stored on your body. Now we're naked. We don't have a backpack. We don't have any. So how are we picking up all this stuff? Well, we're carrying the seeds on our waist. That's what the belt looking icon means. Obviously, I don't have a belt, so it's a little unrealistic, but who cares? It's just stating that you're carrying it by your waist. By the way, all the windows can be resized, and this is considered docked. So docked windows will always be on like a side here, a side over there, up at the top, or at the bottom. I have all the windows reset. I reset all the windows and put them back to a docked state. If my windows look different than yours, I apologize. I tried to bring back my settings to an original state, but I don't know if I actually succeeded in that. So to make stuff, you click this button right here, which is the handcraft icon, obviously. Now this actually took me a while to find, so I'm hoping that you have been like, oh god, thank god you finally told me how to build that. Because it took me forever to find this icon. I had no idea. I thought it was just an icon stating this is what I'm holding. But it's a button. And it opens up this window, which is not docked. And you can move it around, of course. You can put it on another screen, put it off that screen. Oh, I need 2 plant fiber. So to make anything, you bring down this pull down list. And I don't think there is a knife here. You can use a hammer. I know you can definitely use a hammer to attack something. So, since I actually have a log, I'm going to make a hammer because I'm going to need one to build anything. You need a hammer using a log. 1 log, and quality level I'll tell you about later. That's what the Q means. And tech level I'll tell you about later as well, TL. So, tech level 1, which everybody starts at. So to make it, you just click this button again. Boom, now I have a hammer. Awesome. So I now want to make a flag. Well, I want to make a textile. To make a textile using plant fiber, I need 2 pieces of plant fiber. So now I need to find another plant fiber tile to do this. You can't use the same one. It's picked clean. Okay, so I found another plant fiber, but I'm having a hard time clicking it. Oh, there we go, finally. Now, I got hay from that one, because I must not be by the plant fiber tile. This has happened before. But I dropped it because I'm carrying too much stuff. Now, I'm going to drop these seeds as well, because I don't want them. I don't even know what the hell to do with them, to be honest. Like, I said what I know, but I've never done it. There we go. Got my second plant fiber. So now I can go ahead and make that flag. Alright, so we made the flag, the textiles. So now we need to make the flag. Now it should need only 1. It does. But I need a sewing needle. So to make a sewing needle, I'm going to have to find either a log or a bone, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Oh god. Oh, he just one-shot me. See what I mean by the survival? Yeah. It's a little hard when you first start because of that reason, and that's what that knife was there to help me with, because I used that to attack the other creatures you saw before. But unfortunately, I don't have that knife anymore, and as long as I don't drop my hammer, which I might, I only have the torch to attack. And I think the torch is really, really, really low in damage output. Your body is even lower. So I didn't drop the hammer, but I dropped... What did I drop? Textile. I died of my wounds. What did I drop? I just saw it disappear, and you'd think I'd remember. Oh, it's just the seeds. Who cares? I got lucky for that one. Okay, so now I'm gonna need to make a sewing needle. Now, there's some logs over here. Obviously, going over to a tree, you probably get a log. Alright, but I can't carry it. Because I got the seed instead of the log. I have too much. Well, that sucks. Let's drop the textile then. We could always make another one. Now let's go ahead and try to... Yep, sewing needle using log. That's what I thought. And now that I have that, I can go ahead and make the flag. There we go. So now I have a flag. Now, of course, now it's like, okay, let's make our city, right? Let's make a city. The problem with this is that once you place down the flag, all the local creatures will storm your flag, or at least one or two. And that might not be much of a problem if I had my knife, but I don't have my knife. So I'm going to have to equip something as a weapon and get ready for a fight. The other option that I can do is I can look into what else I can make for a weapon. So a bone can be used as a bludgeon weapon. And I died again! What in the world? I hope this is comical for you guys. Obviously, I can't attack those guys at all. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? I hope those things don't storm me. But, you know, once you make a flag, that's where you'll spawn. All the time. I dropped my hammer. I dropped my freaking hammer. Let's use the torch if we have to. So the sewing needle, for instance, does 4 points of damage. It's signified at the bottom right hand corner where I showed you that the attack icon is. But the torch does 8 points of burning damage. Did you kill me? I don't think it was him. Well, I just picked up a head of the guy that... No, I picked up my head. I'm gonna show you some interesting things you can do. I wonder how many people will get upset by that one. There, got my hammer. There we go, you see? The hammer does 15 points of damage. Jeez, I don't even know what the knife did. Okay, so it's time for us to make our first civilization. It's not wise to just plop it down anywhere, though. What's wise is to find another resource you will need to do anything worthwhile in your first city. Changing modes real quick. There's the main resource that you need. Oh, come on, mouse. Oil. Oil is the most important thing to have in your first civilization, or you will never basically do anything worthwhile. You won't get into space. You won't get... Because oil, in real life, we use oil to make plastic. It is a petro product. So you need plastic. I guess you need plastic for a spaceship. We'll just keep it at that, because obviously we use plastic everywhere. So we're not going to use the oil probably right away, but we will eventually use it. So it's good to start a civilization nearby. So to start a civilization, you open up the window with the construction window with the F11 key, or you can use this button right here. but all the windows say what hotkey to use, which is F11. Now, as you can see, this I don't think should be happening. I think it should have been putting it as a tab on this or whatever. Yours might be different. So I have two windows open now. They're docked, but here I'll show you what happens when you try to rip one off. You can rip one off, and then you can usually dock it with another window, like onto this one, or it can keep it floating. There we go. Now it wants to dock into that window. So once I do that, now it's a tab at the bottom. Sadly, sometimes the game seems to push the bottom half below my screen. You may not have that problem. It may be my own problem. So I have to actually maximize and minimize and maximize the game, just so that it realigns everything and you can see it again. Okay. So the first thing you're going to construct is this, the town square. The town square is the first thing that you make for any city, and you will be making lots of cities in this game. So once I place this down, we will be attacked, or at least they will storm the town square. Yeah, I guess that's just what we're going to do. When you first make a city, if you're the first person inside a sector, you get to name it. If you're the first person inside a solar system, you get to name it. If you're the first city, well, of course you get to name the city. Oddly enough, you don't seem to see an option to name the planet, even though you can name planets. You just can't name them through this screen. So, suggesting a name is Mar. Yeah. Once you hit suggest name for city, it'll do it for all three. You can change these, of course. They don't have to all be the same. So we can go with that. But I actually have an idea of what I want to name the first city. Since we are the Palladians, I'm actually looking up the information that people have either made up or legitimately know of to be real. And I'm naming everything in that accordance for this Let's Play. I'll be right back with that information. Okay, so there's obviously no city names for the Palladians, but there are solar system and essentially sector. They call it a constellation, so I'm going to call the sector the constellation. So the solar system is going to be Tegeti, and the sector is going to be Pleiades. Now, since I'm recording this, you guys will probably know where I am if you see this sector in the game. So I just like to let you know that I have made some friends inside this game, and they know that I'm making a Let's Play that is for tutorial nature. And so therefore, interaction in a hostile manner towards me will be confronted more than likely with armadas from people that are 10 times stronger than anyone else, well, than me, or you, or anyone. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I'm not going to try to hide where I am because there is no point. It would take me more effort than it's worth to try to hide where I am. So now we have made our first city, and that flash you saw all over the screen means that my birth or my recall is now set to this city because it's the first city in my empire. I'm now officially an empire. Before that, I wasn't actually an empire. But I won't show up on any type of ranking system until I build this building right here called the capital. Now, I'm not going to build the capital for quite some time. And the reason behind that, even if it's useful, because it is very useful, but I'm not going to make it because once I do that again, it's almost like an announcement to the entire galaxy of who you are, essentially. They can look you up through the website. Without that capital, you can't look up an empire. You can look up an avatar, but you can't look up an empire. But I'll show that some other time. We're about to be attacked, or we're already being attacked. Let me go run over there real quick. Jumping sometimes, by the way, is a very, very plausible and feasible way of traveling. I made that pretty far. But I put it right next to the oil, so I'm happy with that. Alright. Well, we may have gotten lucky and not been attacked. That is a possibility. Or they just haven't come over here yet. Well, I think I'm running out of time for this episode. I would like to release this and show that to everyone that I'm making a tutorial let's play for this game. I haven't actually advertised it much, and I just want to make sure that people know how to play this game because it is one very interesting and very large games. It's a very large. It has a very large. Oh, whoa! I got disconnected. Well, I guess that'll be the end of this episode. I'll see you guys later in the next episode. In the next episode, we shall cover. We shall be covering the building the civilization for the basic resources, and then population limit, because there's a limit to how many people you can have inside a city. And after that, we'll start talking about things that will get you into space, because that's the goal in the first stages of the game. So if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave them down in the comment box below. If you didn't like the episode, feel free to press the thumbs down button. I've never used that button, but hey, you might. So I've done thumbs up, but I've never done thumbs down, because if I didn't like it, I usually clicked off of it. So if you've watched to this point, if there's anything that can make my presentation of this game better to you, or if you have any suggestions on how I'm recording it, or any comments, please constructively criticize me. I have no problem with constructive criticism, but hostile comments I will just simply ignore. Alright, see you guys in the next episode.